Hello, guys. I want to talk about the bonds, and this is in addition to my market report this morning, and the bond rates are up. I've been predicting that they're going to hit 3.25% pretty soon. Before the end of this year, they're going to be at 3.25%. I found this article on Goldman something. It's on CNBC. Goldman, something strange has happened with the United States economy that could cause interest rates to jump. Um, the U.S. budget deficit is growing at a time when unemployment rate is falling, something that hasn't happened in peacetime since World War II. Goldman Sachs projects that rising costs to fund the deficit will force the government to borrow more, which will push interest rates up. All the benchmark 10-year Treasury note yield will likely rise from nearly 3% now to 3.6% by the end of 2019, Goldman projects. Now, I want to say something about this. They're predicting a rate of 3.6% on the U.S. 10-year Treasury by the end of 2019. I want to say something about this. They are being ultra cautious. I think we're going to see that 3.6% by the no later than the end of 2018, not 2019. I think that their projection is extending it out there longer than what it. I think they're being careful about careful about their prediction. I think we're going to see that 3.6% sooner rather than later. What we're witnessing here is we're witnessing a crashing bond market. But it's not an extremely high speed crash. But as the bond market crashes, everything out there is priced in. The U.S. 10-year Treasury prices everything because the 3-month LIBOR, trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars and everything is priced into the LIBOR rate, and the LIBOR rate follows the U.S. Treasury rate. We see as the Treasury rate's going up, we see LIBOR going up. Now, here's the thing. All of the debt out there, outstanding debt, has supported the economic, they called it an economic recovery. They preached this whole economic recovery thing for ages and ages. There was no economic recovery. What we were doing was we were following a line there from 2008 all the way up to near the present. It was like a tightrope walker, the economy. It was following a line between deflation and inflation, and the Fed was actually balancing, just like a tightrope walker balances on a line. The Fed was actually balancing on that line, and they were rather good at it. They balanced on it for years. But they finally kicked the can down the road and kicked the can down the road until they couldn't kick the can down the road any longer. And now what's happened is we're facing a stark reality where the prices to borrow money is going up. This is going to close the door on even a so-called economic recovery, and it's going to expose a recession. And very soon. There's not a snowball's chance in hell we can escape this thing. This thing is coming. It's coming like a train as these rates rise. What we're going to see is the cost to borrow money going up. This is the first stage, and the investors out there are getting a sense of this at this point. The dollar's rising. They're smelling it. They're smelling it coming ahead of time, and everything is starting to change direction now. All the flows of money. Money is like water. Okay, now, for an awful lot of people out there, they don't understand how tides work, how the tide works. You get a fisherman now, a guy that makes his living at this, and he goes out and he knows when the tide is going to change direction. Well, this is the way. When you study economics long enough, you can start to see a change in a direction of the flows of money. And we saw that change in direction. Now, I'm warning you guys that this is coming. Just like a fisherman can tell when the tide's starting to turn and go out. The money is changing direction now at this point. The flows of money, the ebbs of money. It's like a river of money. And the whole thing is getting ready to change and come to something that you're not used to. Uh, you've got to understand that they've been pushing people out of precious metals, and right now, a person is like, "Where do I invest my money?" This is what people are saying to themselves right now at this point. Where do I put my money? Precious metals are no good. Bitcoin is scary. They're saying to themselves, the stock market is scary. The bond rates are bond yields are rising. Where do I put my money? And an awful lot of people are saying, well, probably the best thing for me to do is just leave my money in the bank as cash. But because they just don't know where to turn at this stage in the game. It's got to be the hardest time in history for investors right now. Right now. They don't know where to turn. Seriously. And this is because we're in such a twisty-turny marketplace right now with this whole thing getting ready to explode. They can sense that everything's getting ready to explode into something. They know something's coming. They can feel it in their gut, but they don't know exactly what it is. Now, my channel here, I'm trying to explain it, what's happening. And I'm going to tell you what, it's a hard job for me. This is very complicated, what's going to happen, because we're going into a deflationary period. And then it's going to switch directions into an inflationary period. Talk about complicated, but the reason why is because of the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve and the other central banks of the world have created a situation, and we're in uncharted territory. We're in uncharted water where we've never been before. So right now, the U.S. Treasury, Goldman Sachs is projecting that it's going to rise to 3.6% by the end of 2019. These projections are extremely ultra conservative because of the speed in which it's rising at right now. It went from 2.95% to 3.06% just this morning. I mean, that's not going to take it 2 years at that rate to rise. And the thing is it could be there in the next couple months. I mean, at the rate it's going. It's taken off. It's like a rocket to the moon. That's what I want to report to you guys about. So this is this part of the report, a little addendum to what I was talking about earlier in the first part. And listen, catch you guys tomorrow morning with another market report. Well, okay, toodly-doo. Bye-bye for now.